Hello friends, it's Dr. Ashok Kumar Madhav here. Now today we'll be discussing getting to know management or the application of management principles to agri-business as such. So the objectives of this session are, in the end of this session you should be able to, number one, you should be able to define what is management. Number two, identify the importance of management. Number three, list the functions of management. Number four, examining the role of management in agribusiness in the end. Now, as an introduction, now I will ask you a question. Have you ever wondered how your mother has your tiffin packed before you leave for college? Have you ever wondered how your mother keeps the house running smoothly? All she applies are somehow for management skills. She plans in advance what she is going to make. If she requires anything to be bought from the market, she brings it the earlier day. The dal, rice, spices, even your Maggi cravings are readily available. Have you ever wondered? Well, she shops for the ration at the start of the month and stocks it in advance. Have you ever seen your mom paying a little more to your housemate for Diwali or Dashera? Yes. Why do you think she does that? Management is around us every day. It is a universal activity. Everyone is managing their life and day on a daily basis. Don't we plan our day in the morning, though not consciously, but unconsciously for sure, certainly. Now, let us begin to understand the process of management in detail as we proceed with this session. Now, management. Every business in this world requires a management to get their products delivered and distributed on time. Management combines the effort of effectively achieving the company goals by working with and through others using limited resources in the changing world. Management is an effort of an individual or a collective effort of group of individuals who carry out the duties of running an organization towards the achievement of commonly defined goals. Now, defining management. How do we define management? Management is defined in detail as a process, as an activity, a group, or a science. Now, first we'll try to see what is management as a process. George R. Terry defines management as a process of interrelated functions which create, operate, and direct systematic and cooperated human efforts. It has a social, integrating, and a continuous aspect within it. The bringing together of the human, physical, and financial resources make up the integrating aspect of management. To constantly improve the organizational process by catching problems before they happen make up the continuous aspect of management process. As a process, management falls into following three aspects. Number one, management as a social process. Since human factor is most important among the other factors, therefore management is concerned with developing relationship among people. Further, it is the duty of management to make interaction between or among people productive and useful for obtaining organizational goals. The second one is management as an integrating process. Management undertakes the job of bringing together human, physical, and financial resources so as to achieve organizational purpose. Therefore, it is an important function to bring harmony between or among various factors. The third part is management as a continuous process. It is a never-ending process. It is concerned with the constantly identifying the problem and solving them by taking adequate steps. It is an ongoing process. Management as an activity. We will try to see management as an activity. Harold Kohn says, management is what a manager does. Managers perform the activity of directing efforts of others to achieve company goals. The managers perform the activity of being the information providers for the employees, making them the communication link between the management and the subordinates. They are also the decision makers in the organization. Management as an activity basically includes informational activities. In the functioning of business enterprise, the manager constantly has to receive and to give information orally or in written form. A communication link has to be maintained with subordinates as well as superiors for effective functioning of an enterprise. The next part or the second activity is decisional activity. Practically all types of managerial activities are based on one or the other types of decisions. Therefore, managers are continuously involved in decisions of different kinds, since the decision made by one manager becomes the basis of action to be taken by the other managers. For example, sales manager is deciding the media and content of advertising. Now, the third activity is interpersonal activities. Management involves achieving goals through people. Therefore, managers have to interact with superiors as well as the subordinates. They must maintain good relations with them. The interpersonal activities include with the subordinates and taking care of the problem. For example, bonuses to be given to the subordinates. Yes, that's an issue. Now, management as a group. The management group includes all managers from a chief executive to first level managers. Many a times we hear people say that management of XYZ company is good. They are mostly referring to the top level management, that is, the chairman, the CEO, the chief executive, general manager, board of directors, etc. These set of people are the major decision makers who have the authority to use the available resources to achieve organizational goals. Now, there are three types of managers: patrimonial or family managers, professionals, and finally, we see political or civil managers. Now, we will try to see one by one. Patrimonial family managers take the responsibility of managers by virtue of being a family member of the owners. Professionals are appointed due to their knowledge and degrees that they possess. Those who manage public sector undertakings are known as political or civil managers as such. Management as a group may be looked upon in two different ways. Number one, all managers grouped together. Number two, only the top level management. Now, we will come to the part of management as a science. Now, we will try to understand what is science. Science is defined as a systematic body of knowledge pertaining to specific field of study that contains general facts which explains the phenomenon. It has universally accepted management principles such as the principle of unity of command. These principles, the dignity of labor, these principles have been developed through experimentation and practical experiences of many managers. Its cause and effects have been tested on shop floors. Now, management is considered both as an art and also as a science. This point clearly tells us that the management has combined features of science and art. It is considered as science because it has an organized body of knowledge which contains certain universal truths. It is called an art because managing requires certain skills which are personal possessions of managers. Science provides the knowledge and art deals with the application of knowledge and skills. A manager, to be successful in his profession, must acquire the knowledge of science and the art of applying it. The old saying that managers are born has been rejected in favor of managers are made. Today, managers are made, not born. It has been aptly remarked that management is the oldest of an art and youngest of science. The task of manager has been quite specialized as a result of this. developments, the management has reached a stage where everything is to be managed professionally. Now, we will see management as a profession. A profession may be defined as an occupation that requires specialized knowledge and intensive academic preparations, to which entry is regulated by a representative body. Now, the essentials of a profession are: number one, specialized knowledge. A profession must have a systematic body of knowledge that can be used for development of professionals. Every professional must make deliberate efforts to acquire expertise in the principles and techniques. Now, the second one is formal education and training. Many institutes of management have been set up for imparting education and training. For example, a CA cannot audit the accounts unless he has acquired a degree or diploma for the same. The third one is the social obligations. Profession is a source of livelihood, but professionals are primarily motivated by the desire to serve the society. Their actions are influenced by social norms and values set. The fourth one being the code of conduct. Members of a profession have to abide by a code of conduct which contains certain rules and regulations, norms of honesty, norms of integrity, and norms of special ethics. A code of conduct is enforced by a representative association to ensure self discipline among its members. Now, the fifth one being a representative association. For the regulation of profession, existence of representative body is a must. For example, an Institute of Chartered Accountants of India establishes and administers standards of competence for the auditors, but the AIMA, however, does not have any statutory powers to regulate the activities of managers. Management is an activity concerned with the guiding human and physical resources such that organizational goals can be achieved. Now, we will try to see the nature or characteristics of management. Number one, management is goal oriented. The success of any management activity is assessed by its achievement of the predetermined goals or objective. Management is a purposeful activity. It's a tool which helps use of human and physical resources to fulfill the predetermined goals. For example, the goal of an enterprise is to maximize consumer satisfaction by producing quality goods and at reasonable prices. This can be achieved by employing efficient persons and making better use of scarce resources. The third part is that management integrates human, physical, and financial resources. In an organization, human beings work with non-human resources like machines, materials, financial assets, buildings, etc. Management is the one which integrates human efforts to these resources. It brings harmony among the human, physical, and financial resources. Now, the fourth one is management is a continuous activity. Management is an ongoing process. It involves continuous handling of problems and issues. It is concerned mainly with the identifying the problem and taking appropriate steps to solve it. For example, the target of a company is maximum production. For achieving this target, various policies have to be framed, but this is not the end by itself. Marketing and advertising is also to be done. For these, policies have to be again framed. Hence, this is an ongoing process. The fifth one is management is all pervasive. Management is required in all types of organizations, whether it is a political organization, a social organization, or a cultural organization, or a business organization, because it helps and directs various efforts towards a definite purpose. Whenever more than one person is engaged in working for a common goal, management is necessary. Whether it is a small business firm which may be engaged in trading or large firm, management is required everywhere irrespective of or type of activity. Now, the sixth one is management is a group activity. Management is very much less concerned with the individual's effort. It's more concerned with the group effort. It involves the use of group effort to achieve predetermined goal of management of, for example, of a ABC company. Is good refers to a group of persons managing the enterprise. Next, now let us discuss about the definition of management. The definitions by some of the leading management thinkers and practitioners will be presented. Number one, according to Lawrence A. Apley, management consists in guiding human and physical resources into dynamic, hard-hitting organization into that attains its objectives to the satisfaction of those served and with a high degree of morale and sense of attainment on the part of those rendering this service. Now, the second one, Henry L. Sisk defined management as management is the coordination of all resources through the process of planning, organizing, directing, and controlling in order to attain stated objectives. Now, thirdly, James L. Lundy stated management is principally the task of planning, coordinating, motivating, and controlling the efforts of others towards a specific objective. Now, fourthly, American Society of Mechanical Engineers defined management as management is the art and science of organizing and directing human efforts applied to control the forces and utilize the materials of nature for the benefit of man. According to Harold Kuhns and Cyril Ordnell, management is the creation and maintenance of an internal environment in an enterprise where individuals working in groups can perform efficiently and effectively towards the attainment of group goals. According to F.W. Taylor, Frederick Winslow Taylor, management is the art of knowing what you want to do and then seeing that it is done in the best and the cheapest way. According to Ralph C. Davis, management is the function of executive leadership anywhere. Now we will discuss about the importance of management. Management helps in achieving group goals. It is responsible for arranging the resources and getting the production done effectively. It converts disorganized resources of men, machines, finances, etc. into an effective operational enterprise. It directs group efforts to work towards attainment of goals. Another importance of management is its ability to make use of the resources effectively, whether it is the physical resources such as land, machines, and raw materials, or it may be human resources such as manpower. Management will find ways to maximize the use of these resources. For example, tractors are not only used to plow land but also as a mode of transport. It could be used to transport the harvest or cattle to the market. The use of skilled and expert people to work in the organization leads to maximum use of resource, thus reducing wastage. It helps in reducing cost by proper planning of all the production activities, thus getting maximum results with minimum inputs. Management establishes norms and policies for the organization to survive the changing environment. For example, any changes in the policies or taxation of the country could affect the production, or transportation costs for the organization, thus affecting the yearly budget. Conditions in the contract where the rates are defined could help curb this problem. Now, we go to another important part, that is the functions of management. As explained earlier, management is described as a process which organizes the activity of production to achieve organizational goals. This process is said to be done through various functions. Now, briefly, let us look towards the concept of planning. Planning, this is the step in management is said to be crux of effective management. Planning provides the management a roadmap to effective achievement of management goals. It decides what to do, when, and how to do for an organization. It is necessary to ensure proper utilization of human and non-human resources. Some prominent functions in planning are assessment of the environment in terms of opportunities and threats for the firm, evaluation of the firm's strengths and weaknesses, matching the firm's strengths and weaknesses with its opportunities and threats, where we call it a SWOT, setting of objectives for attaining those opportunities available to the firm, formulation and setting of alternative course of action, preparation of action plans and budgets. Now we go to the organizing. This brings together the human and non-human resources required for production. It identifies the activities and classifies them together. It arranges for the resources and raw materials and coordinates the authority responsibility relationships. Organizing as a process involves number 1, identification of activities, number 2, classification or grouping of activities, number 3, assignment of duties, delegation of authority and creation of responsibilities, number 4, coordinating authority and responsibility relationships. And next we go to the third function, what we call the staffing. This function ensures that the right man with the correct job skills is available for the job needed to be done. This includes manpower planning, estimating manpower in terms of searching, choosing the person and giving him the right place. The second part is recruitment, selection and placement. The third part is training and development. Next comes the remuneration. Next is performance appraisal, and further it is promotions and transfers. After the staffing, then we go to the function of directing. These are the life spark of an organization. Without proper directing or direction, the machines will work with skilled hands and raw material will get converted into finished products. It cannot be possible for the raw materials or the machines to work without a proper direction. Directors are supposed to be supervisors and mentors to its workforce who guide them to achieve organizational goals. Direction has some of the following elements in it. Supervision. Supervision implies overseeing the work of subordinates by their superiors. It's the act of watching and directing work and workers. Next comes motivation. It means inspiring, stimulating or encouraging the subordinates with zeal to work. A positive motivation, negative motivation, monetary or non-monetary incentives may be used for this particular purpose. Next comes the element of leadership. May be defined as a process by which manager guides and influences the work of subordinates in desired direction. Communication is the next one, where it is the process of passing information, experience, opinion, etc. from one person to another. It's a bridge of understanding. Then comes the another major important function of management is the last function, perhaps controlling. This function involves measuring the accomplishment against the standard set and effectively handling any deviation from the set standard or the same. According to Theo Heyman, controlling is the process of checking whether or not proper progress is being made towards the objectives and goals and acting if necessary to correct any deviation. Now, according to Kuntz and O'Donnell, controlling is the measurement and correction of performance activities of subordinates in order to make sure that enterprise objectives and plans desired to obtain them as being accomplished. Therefore, controlling has the following steps. Number one, establishment of standard performance. Number two, measurement of actual performance. Number three, comparison of actual performance with the standards and finding out deviation if any. Number four, corrective action. Lastly, now we will go to the part of role of management in agribusiness. Agriculture activities, when conducted with an aim for business, will definitely fetch the maximum returns. To achieve that, you need to be an effective manager. The things that require management are land, labor, water, capital, etc. In agribusiness, you should be able to manage the land that you will be using for cultivation. You will have to plan when the seeds can be sown, what should be the time gap between two crops, what type of fertilizers it requires to get you the maximum output, etc. Without the manpower, any business will not work. In agribusiness, manpower is required even after the production is over. It is essential to keep the manpower occupied while crops are growing and also after the harvest. Water is another important resource for agribusiness. It is imperative to control the amount of water for your crop, how much it requires. You have to plan for any shortfall of natural water. As agribusiness depends on natural elements for its success, you have to plan for contingencies every time, any emergencies. So, keeping some capital available for disposal will ensure that any problems could be taken care of. Agribusiness is anchored on management, basically, whether it is viewed as an art or a science. Now, management is an integrative field of study that draws concepts on the human sciences or human disciplines like economics, psychology, sociology, statistics, mathematics, political science, and engineering, among others. In addition to such fields, agribusiness management also integrates the relevant aspects of agricultural disciplines such as horticulture, agronomy, animal sciences, plant protection, aquaculture, and forest sciences. We go to the summarization or the conclusion of the whole issues that we discussed. In this session, we discussed about the core concepts of management. We looked at the different definitions of management as said by world-renowned management experts and economists. We also listed the functions of management. Finally, we examined the role of management in agribusiness. We also got to know that management is all around us. We do not identify it consciously on a daily basis. We plan our day, which is nothing but time. It's a time management. Now, we know the importance of management. Management helps in achieving commonly defined goals. It is responsible for arranging the resources and effectively getting the production done. It converts disorganized resources of men, machines, finances, etc. into an effective operational enterprise. It directs group efforts to work towards attainment of goals. Another importance is its ability to make use of the resources effectively, whether it is the physical resources such as land, machines and raw material, or human resources such as manpower. Management will find ways to maximize the use of these resources. It also helps in reducing cost by proper planning of all the production activities, thus obtaining maximum results with minimum outputs. By going through this session, we got to know that management establishes sound organizational structure. It defines the authority and responsibility and establishes norms and policies for the organization to survive in the changing environment. Now, here ends our discussion where management, as applied in agribusiness, has been very briefly explained in this session. In further sessions, we go into the details of it. Thank you.